Today's video is extra special because this win came on my very first official race day in Gran Turismo 7. And somehow I went from P6 all the way to P1. The race begins with a rolling start, adding that extra layer of unpredictability. Out of nowhere, a driver just stops, right in the middle of the track. I still don't know why, but somehow it works in my favor. I slip into P5. I gain another position before even reaching turn 1. And more importantly, I get through it without crashing. That's already a small win. To play it safe, I start braking around the 75-meter mark and shift down to second gear. Since I'm new to the game and unfamiliar with this track, I don't know exactly where the track limits are. So I'm not pushing too hard, just staying within the safe zone. These next few turns always feel tricky. And sure enough, Stevo, the driver ahead, goes straight off the track. Poor guy, no coming back from that mistake. That gives me another position. Now I'm sitting at P3. This is the first time I've ever made it into the top 3 in a daily race. I'm nervous, cautious. At this level, it's less about being the fastest and more about avoiding mistakes. I focus on holding my line and waiting for the top 2 to mess up. Meanwhile, I start analyzing their driving styles. Being behind them teaches me a lot. I notice 2 key things. Barry brakes a bit late, which messes up his racing lines. That ends up playing a big role in how I win the race. Then there's the Japanese driver. He wants to push harder, catch who's in front of him, but it costs him control. What both drivers have in common is that they stick very closely to the racing line. As expected, the Japanese driver makes a mistake. While trying to catch up with Barry, he brakes too late, misses the apex, and has to brake again to stay on track and avoid a penalty. He forgets that I'm right behind him. I seize the opportunity, make the move, and overtake him. Now I'm in P2. Just 2 laps in, and I've gone from P6 to P2. My strategy now is to keep it clean and avoid any mistakes. That's where I think I have the edge. I realize I don't need to obsess over the racing line. I just need to drive smart. From my previous races, I've learned that sticking strictly to the line, trusting other drivers too much, and worrying about safe driving are the main reasons I haven't been winning. Not because I'm slower. Now I turn my attention to Barry. I need to close the gap and be ready when he slips up. I notice that Barry consistently struggles in one specific turn. That's where I decide I'll make my move. He doesn't even realize that I'm taking the left corner of the track. That gives me the opportunity to pass him this lap. But as soon as he figures out my tactic, he closes the gap in the next time, and I can't squeeze through again. I think I'm braking a bit early, and maybe that's why he ends up hitting me. The contact makes me lose a bit of control, but I manage to keep the car on track. That moment teaches me something. Don't pass too early unless you're fast enough to make a good lead. I decided to stay behind him and go for the overtake in lap 4. A few corners later, I realize the Japanese driver is back and dangerously close. His aggressive driving style means I have to be extremely careful. My goal here is to hold my line so he can't get by me without making a risky decision. Then comes my chance. Barry loses control slightly on the turn and I go left. But he remembers my move from before and blocks me. I try going right, but he picks up pace and I can't make the pass. This is smart driving by Barry. We're heading into turn 1 and I don't want to take any unnecessary risks or get hit. So I stayed behind Barry waiting for the opportunity. I think about using the same move I used on the Japanese driver, but Barry is holding his line well. So I gave up the pass and decided to wait for his next mistake. So I changed tactics. I start putting visible pressure on him, constantly showing I'm looking for a way past. I want him to feel that pressure and make a mistake. I get right up beside him going into a turn, and the plan works perfectly. For a moment, I think I've done it. Easy P1, I tell myself. Ha! It doesn't even last until the next turn. Another driver, Halibu, hits me under braking. I manage to stay on track, but he cuts the corner and picks up a 2-second penalty. Even though he passes me, I know if I can stay within that 2-second window, I still win. So I go back to the basics. Clean lines, stay on the track, no mistakes. I use the same trick I used with Barry, staying close and making Malibu think I'm about to make a move. But I'm not. I know he's going to slow down for the penalty, and that's when I'll pass him. He starts pushing harder to pull away, but I can tell he's cracking under the pressure. He almost loses control, but somehow keeps it together. I suspect he's using a controller while I'm on a steering wheel. That gives me better consistency and feel for the car. Meanwhile, Barry is catching up behind me, but I'm not too worried. I know where he'll likely make a mistake. Then it happens. Malibu slows for his penalty. I make the move on the final turn and take the win at Interlagos. My first ever daily race win in Gran Turismo 7. I'm beyond happy. Winning a race on my first official race day feels unreal. Like I said at the start, I'm not some sim racing expert, I'm just like most of you, someone trying to get better with every race. And that's exactly why I made this video, to encourage every one of you who's out there grinding to improve. If I can win, so can you. Thanks so much for watching. If this video helped or inspired you, drop a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. There's plenty more Gran Turismo 7 content coming your way, all from the perspective of an average racer chasing progress. This is Don from Don Racing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, keep racing, keep learning, and don't give up.